I will always love you. 5 words, 18 letters. A lie that most of us have heard or told to someone else. And you may ask, a lie? Yes, in most of the cases it is. Let me put you in context. I am sure you have seen a couple of teenagers that swear that they will always be together and never leave by their sides. Well, in 90% of the cases, they didn't end together. Maybe you're perfectly happy in a relationship right now and thinking that I am crazy. I only say this because I am single. Or maybe you're single or just broke up with your partner and want to know why that happened. But don't worry, I will tell you why. Why I think teenage love doesn't last. Our teenage years will pass through a lot of changes, physically and mentally. And this can cause us a lot of confusion or doubts of ourselves. Also, there is this urgent feeling of growing and do everything by our own. And it is very difficult because we have our parents telling us how to behave, the society says other things, and then we feel lost. If this isn't enough, then we have this feeling of attraction for someone else. And the problem is that we confuse attraction with love, and they are two things completely different. So there is when the problems start, when the lie about love was born. To begin, I want to give the definition of love. According to internet, love is a feeling of a strong or constant affection for a person, and on the other hand, attraction is that feeling accompanied by a series of emotions that leads us to desire another person. It can be physical or sexual attraction. My point is that when we are teenagers, we call it love, but actually it is only attraction, chemical reactions of our brain. We don't know it, so we confuse everything, and I think this because in most of teenage relationships that I see around me, there is always a lot of jealousy, codependence, and toxicity. And if it was love, this would not happen, because love is an election. It is when you can live without another person, but choose not to. And here is when the other concept enters. Self-love. At this age, this is something that most of us is dealing with. And if we don't have self-love, we will search for love in another person, because we need it. We are humans and we have the necessity of being loved. But obviously it will not be true love, because in the urge of feeling that, we can be blinded about a lot of red flags in the other person, which lead us to permit all the toxicity and bad things. Let me explain you. For example, there is always in any place a couple that it is always fighting, and I am sure you have asked yourself, if they are always fighting, why are they still together? Well, it can be for some reasons. The first one is that they don't have self-love, because if they love themselves, they will know that they don't deserve to be treated like that. And what it is happening is that they are codependent to each other. Other reason can be that they are not mature enough to decide to fix their problems. And for sure, it is not love. And it is what generally happens with teenage couples. Another reason I think teenage love doesn't last is that because we don't have enough maturity to take care of a relationship. And it is okay, we are not supposed to, because at this age we are playing to be adults. But the reality is that most of the time we don't know what we are doing.
What can I do anything right?
So if we have this level of confusion of our lives, it will be obviously impossible to know how to have a healthy relationship and to let it grow into something beautiful. Sometimes we get mad at something and pretend that the other person will magically know why. But it doesn't work that way. If we don't like something, we have to communicate it in an assertive way. And that is something that most of us don't do. Also, if we are not sure about what we want with a person, we should tell him or her, instead of pretending that we want a serious relationship and then disappear. Because we didn't know how to say it. And I am not saying that with true love people don't fight or make mistakes. I don't even know if love is real, and I am quite skeptical about it. But what I think is that there is no love in a relationship where both parts are hurting each other, and instead of growing together they are making the other person laugh and sacrifice their dreams. I am 100% that love is not supposed to be like that. In conclusion, these are some of the reasons I think teenage love doesn't last. I want to focus on teenagers because I am one and I understand well the situation. Also, I think that we should not reserve ourselves from living this. Also, I think it isn't real and will not last. We should experience it because it is part of our lives. And how are we supposed to have a healthy relationship as adults if we didn't make mistakes and learn from them since we were at a young age? I only consider important to have in mind that all the things that movies or our parents told us when we were young are not necessarily true and are not part of our reality. Remember, don't believe anything you can prove. Thank you for your attention.